Hello and welcome everyone to a fantastic episode of Was That in Good Taste? This week's episode we're calling Too Spicy for the Prepper. I'm going to be one of your hosts and my name is going to be Chandler Phillips, and with me as always is the other one of your hosts.
Just call me James.
And before we get into it, remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that way you can be kept up to date and abreast on all the goings on in the Was That in Good Taste universe.
He said breast.
And speaking of breast, we got a pretty titillating subject for today's matter of fact. Facts of the matter is we're going to be talking about bottoming. Yes, we're going to be discussing what it takes to be a bottom. And in this episode, we're going to have two straights trying our best to comprehend and develop an effective bottoming routine.
You just assume that I'm straight because I don't bottom.
I mean, that's kind of the rules, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Look,
yeah. If I'm gonna listen, if I bottom, then I'm gay. But since I don't, I'm straight.
Yeah. It's I believe what they call the Thebes rule of Thebes.
The rule of Thebes?
Yeah. If you were ever informed about Greek history, there was a band of 100 soldiers who were actually encouraged to have homosexual relations with their flank partners.
Oh no, I was made to do it.
It was, well, they weren't forced to, but they were like, hey, it builds camaraderie if like, all right. So in Alexander the Great's army, there was what's called a phalanx. All right. And this was a series of, a formation where you would have long, hard spears jutting out between protective, shielded front lines. And so the front lines would take that smattering and the onslaught and just bashing from the enemy lines. Meanwhile, their partners who had their backs would thrust their spears forward, thus taking out any would-be assailants. And it was enough to crush armies from the Aegean to the Indus Valley.
Man, I sure do love crushing those Indus Valians.
And they said, it is said that the generals of these particular, was it Thebes or Thrace?
Thrace?
Was it Thracian?
I mean, you never had a threesome?
I've never had a threesome.
If you've never had a threesome, then I think you're missing out.
You know, some people are threesome, some people are just handsome.
One of my favorite things about Alexander the Great is how people today will argue about being gay, and people will bring that up as an argument. And I have to say that having sex with someone because you're on the field of battle and have nobody else to have sex with is not at all gay. But just like when I have sex with a femboy or a Therian, right? Okay. By the way, I don't call them that. That's what they call themselves. That's not me.
But I want to clarify, it wasn't just because they were on the field of battle and there was no one else around. It's because they were brothers in arms, and being in multiple near-death experiences create an emotional bond between individuals.
You're looking at me kind of
and because when you're trauma bonded with someone, maybe, feelings get a little, intense.
So what you're saying is that the trauma bond episode of the podcast is pretty homoerotic.
It's just for good team bonding.
You ever been behind the line of a busy restaurant? Everything is crazy. Everything is going hard. And you just stand next to your sous chef. You reach down right behind his apron and you just take a grab of that spatula.
There is a reason why line cooks get it in. And it's because of that trauma bond.
Oh my God. What are we drinking today, Mr. Phillips, at the bar?
So we got a couple things that we're going to be featuring. The main thing that I wanted to drink for this episode was a diuretic tea. Now, I looked up what some natural diuretics were. Admittedly, when I first had the concept of this episode, I thought, wouldn't it be so much fun if we both did colonics and then tried to hold it in as we did the episode, and then whoever had to tap out first had to like we would just keep recording without them.
But I don't bottom.
Well, today's a new day. It's a new year, 2025. We're doing things that we say we haven't done before. You know, that's the whole thing where you're like, I don't bottom, I only top. Or look, anyone can be anyone. Don't limit yourself. Why close the doors when everything can be opened?
I mean, if it's girl cock, it doesn't count, right?
Yeah. But what do you mean by doesn't count?
It doesn't count as bottom if you're switching. Come on.
Bottoming is bottoming, period.
If you say so.
So, close-minded. I am on a personal growth journey. And in that journey, part of that personal growth is actually to lose myself a little bit. I saw a couple pictures of myself recently, and I just wasn't feeling super confident and sexy and hot in my body. And so I wanted to do a little weight cut to just kind of, you know, reset some cycles in here. And in the process, I did some research on, you know, what it takes to keep a clean GI tract.
Oh.
And in that, it kind of seemed like, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into being
Shitting.
Huh?
Shitting and pooping.
But not just shitting and pooping. In the prep work that it takes to be a prepared bottom. And this has nothing to do with the fact that I lit a manifestation candle earlier this year, hoping that some big goth dommy mommy would peg me. But these are unrelated things. However, they do seem to kind of go hand in hand. And when the situation comes, I want to be ready. I don't want to be like, oh, I don't know what to do. What kind of supplements should I take? What kind of diuretics should I take? How do I make sure I'm clean? I want to be about it, because no one wants a sub who doesn't know how to bottom, right? Like,
yes,
you want someone who's been there before. And even if my cheeks haven't been clapped, I don't want to seem brand new to this. And so in that, I got us a weight loss tea by Traditional Medicinals. Medicinals. That's how you say that word. Finally. So this is their organic weightless blend. It relieves temporary water weight and just kind of helps flush things along. And what really got me is just a lot of the ingredients matched with what I was looking up were like good natural diuretics. Again, because initially I was like, what if we just like fucking went in on this and took laxatives and then like did an enema.
He's like, let's go in the bathroom and douche. He's like, let's rub each other's backs while we douche, and we'll get there.
And then we'll like tag in, and then we could use the same nozzle, because then we'll feel closer to each other. But it's got some interesting stuff in here. Again, this is the cranberry blend, and it features organic hibiscus flower, which is a natural diuretic, organic parsley leaf as well, chicory root, which is a stimulant. It's actually, if you've ever had Cafe Du Monde coffee, that's from
or just chicory coffee.
It's chicory and coffee. But it's another natural stimulant, kind of similar to coffee and caffeine, but just has a little bit more earthy flavor. There's also red clover flower in here, fennel fruit, which gives it that illustrious black licorice kind of flavor to it. And of course, cranberry fruit, cleaver's herb, and stevia leaf.
Stevia. Quick question.
Yeah.
At the top of that list, what does it say?
It says all herbal ingredients, proprietary blend, organic hibiscus flower.
I think it's called weightless because in the proprietary blend, there's probably little to no hibiscus, parsley, chicory, red clover, fennel, cranberry, cleavers, or stevia.
It's in it. And I smell it. I can smell it from here.
Okay, let's take a sip of the tea. We're doing a tea tasting.
We're doing a tea tasting?
That's what we do. We do a tea tasting here. That's what we do. We drink tea. How was that in good taste?
I'm still steeping it.
I'm sorry that I did that.
I'm giving it a couple good bounces.
If you're a person who's sensitive to mouth sounds, I don't normally make them, but we're going to do a quick little tea sipping, tea sipping ASMR. If you have misophonia, I need you to do me a favor.
And if you're a person...
I need you. All right, you ready? Go ahead.
And if you're a person who's really into mouth sounds, get a napkin or a damp cloth. Oh, so much fennel going on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, this is good tea. You know what's crazy though?
Fantastic.
I just have to say this because I have to be the responsible person. One, I actually get affected by misophonia a lot. I have a hard time eating with people sometimes. Some people are just loud eaters and it just kills me.
That sounds like a you problem.
It doesn't be a problem. The second thing is...
That was a callback to a different thing. I wasn't just being a dick. Okay?
I need you to understand that you should not and cannot and are not supposed to take this to lose weight. I don't care if it says weightless or weight loss or blah, 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 blah. Drinking tea is not going to make you lose weight. It might make you shit yourself.
It's not going to help burn fat. Okay? If you are feeling bloated or retaining water, this may help just kind of osmotically move some of those things along. But I mean, in that way, it kind of does help you lose weight. It's just the weight that you're thinking. It's not burning fat, right? It's a temporary. It's more of like a deflation than it would be, and also like a weight loss thing.
If we're being healthy, what is this? And why is it Italian? And why is it 1/3 empty? Why is it like 1/5 empty?
What do you mean? Why is it Italian?
It has this chain.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. Okay, that's funny. That's okay.
I get. Thank you.
Hey, bada boom. Okay.
Oh, damn, I binged myself.
You got yourself on that one. I want to, before we get into the fun tequila that we're going to add into it.
Okay. Okay, Papa.
Just a couple disclaimers too. Laxative abuse is a thing. Be careful with it. There's a handful of over-the-counter diuretics and even pharmaceutical diuretics that could potentially cause a lot of problems for your internal GI tract, mainly with what's it called? Loop and thiazides.
Listen, whatever. If you have internal issues or you're concerned, if you're concerned about losing weight, go to a doctor. Speak to a doctor.
Yeah.
Don't go to two podcasts, a middle level podcast.
And don't just chug diuretics because some of the like intense ones can prevent your body from absorbing essential nutrients like potassium, and that can have some pretty serious issues.
Bad for your heart.
It's bad for your heart. It's bad for your muscles, and it's bad for the vibe. Really, it just gives bad vibes.
We're all about vibes here.
We're all about the good vibes. So with that disclaimer, and also that we're being silly responsibly, because again, I really was thinking we would do like a coffee enema or something. I thought that would be fun, but again, be responsible.
Hey, I got some questions.
Huh?
I got some questions, but first we need to talk about this right here.
Yeah, let's get into the
Simple tequila, which is what? It is a plata tequila, which means
it's made of plates.
It's made of plates, which means that it's unaged.
Yes.
It is a completely unaged tequila. This is from, of course, was it Jalisco region, right?
Yes, sir.
It is, of course, 100% blue agave. It is also made in brick ovens. That's how the agave is roasted. What else? What else?
What's cool about this bottle is it actually has a fuck ton of information on the back here. And I'm going to go ahead and just read it off. The distillery is Viva Mexico. The agave type, as you said, was Blue Weber agave. it gives a very specific harvest region, which they're done by initials. So I'm not going to pretend to know what those initials are, but it's neat. Like you said, brick oven, which, as we know, traditional mezcal is made in clay ovens, or usually can be like roasted in underground pits. And then like super traditional tequilas are going to be done in a similar like clay kind of thing.
Where they cover it with the reeds and the leaves from the other part of the agave plant to kind of steam the agave.
But, if you don't have just a bunch of ambient clay, what are bricks if not clay given order? They're
aching.
It's organized clay.
They're aching to be used. They're because they're clay aching. Oh.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I'll give you that
Come
one.
on. Come on.
This is actually pretty neat. The extraction method, instead of like just shredding it up or blending it up, they do a traditional extraction method of using a roller mill, in which they have a big stone mill mash it into kind of an agricole. Like we've talked about rum agricole on here before, but
it tends to be kind of like a big wheel, and then they put the agave in the bottom, and then they roll the wheel, and then it presses it and mushes it, which not only breaks it up, but it also really gets down. It's kind of like garlic a little bit. You're starting to break down the cell structure. You're really beginning to extract all of the juices and really break down the flesh. So that's why they use the stone, because it's like a really even, consistent way of, milling it. You can put it through different ways. You can do it mechanically. The mechanical separation method is just not as...
It doesn't it doesn't squish the cells as much. And so sometimes you don't get as much of like it shreds it rather than squishing. And the squish is where you get the juice. The next thing on here is the water source. It is a deep well water source, meaning they're tapping into some of the purer, lower water table water available. It had a lot more sediment to filter through,
which is important for local tequilas. For many reasons. One, including the fact that it tends to be that when these distilleries do that, they're paying back into the local municipality for the use of the well water. In Mexico, especially in that region, they have these things you have to do. It's pretty much an agreement where when these distilleries are using the well water, local people are required to be able to go and access the water for a set period of time.
That is pretty neat. And the fermentation style, pretty neat, pretty interesting. It's an open air fermentation, and it says here Mozart method. What's that, James? Do they is it baby Mozart where they just play the music and it helps, the yeasts be smarter once they come out of the fermentation? What's that all about, James? Tell me, James, tell me, James, what's the Mozart method really all about?
Obviously, it's when you have both champagne.
Oh?
And I forgot the other name, but I forgot the other fucking yeast already.
Maybe like something from another similarly kind of tropical area, like a rum kind of yeast?
Oh, yeah. But the main thing is that it's open, but they don't really say anything about what it is. And I Googled it. I should use ChatGPT. And when I Googled it, I came to the conclusion that what they do is they take the big open vats and they put speakers near them and they play J. Cole. You would think Mozart.
You would think it would be Mozart.
But it's just called that.
Right.
You're going to call it Mozart? Come on, it's cool.
What are you going to call it? Like a J. Cole method? That doesn't have a ring.
That has no... You're going to call it Chopin?
What are you going to call it? Like a...
He's like, is there
a handle?
So Sempre. Also the big thing they say about this is that you're supposed to get a lot of the terroir, which is bullshit. We've had this conversation before. This is distilled. When you're distilling it, you're getting, of course, the distillations from the things you put in it, and the quality of the things is important. But the terroir, the taste of the ground, is not in your distilled beverage.
Well, now wait a minute.
How?
Well, they do use deep well water. And so, if you think about it.
Okay, yeah, but when it's being distilled,
If you think about it.
and it's steaming, I guess. Okay, you're gonna say that some of the particulates, some of the TDS, the total dissolved solids,
Yeah.
are gonna make its way up through the first chamber, through the copper pipes. Then, I didn't say what kind of still this is.
It's a copper still.
It's a copper.
Twice distilled, I might add.
Twice distilled. You're telling me terroir?
2 times.
2 times distilled. You're telling me terroir? I'm gonna
Well,
tell
yeah,
you this.
because they probably cut it with the water.
I feel like if you're sitting there, right, and like you pull it out, and there's like a little bit of poop on it.
And a little bit of
That's once distilled.
that.
Twice distilled. There's nothing. No terroir. No taste. No flavor.
2 times.
You're gonna tell me you don't like a little bit of flavor when you go down there?
A little flavor in your ear.
I need to stop. Okay, so we're gonna do a little tasty taste of the Simpre, a small taste. Then we're gonna introduce it to the tea.
Yes,
Okay,
that's exactly what we're gonna do.
right.
James, I just had to look it up. Do you know what siempre means? Like what it translates to? What it actually means?
The answer is yes, but also the answer is you're asking me at the wrong time, as I have been sitting in here doing this all day.
Huh. So that sounds like a no.
I'm sorry, it's not my first fucking language.
Wow, that sounds like you don't know. Sounds like I actually know something you don't know.
Okay.
Interesting. Fun, funny, hilarious. Siempre means always.
Always.
Look, I let you have that joke earlier out of the kindness of my heart. Yeah. So, we're gonna pretend like we haven't had like 3 shots of this already. James, what's your assessment of this delicious tequila that's been bestowed upon us?
Very interesting. One, I feel like some of the platas that I've had have sort of what I would call a briny nature. They tend to be a little thin, right? Not super thin.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to say salty. When I say briny, I mean when it comes to the mouthfeel, right? Where when it's in my mouth, it's not that creamy. It's kind of sharp. It's almost,
you ain't doing it right.
I know, right? Almost a little salty, but it can be tasty. In this case, what I'm getting is it's like really creamy on my tongue as I'm drinking it. After it leaves these absolute crazy grassy notes, my whole palate is not overwhelmed with, but it's like beautifully coated with what honestly tastes to me a little bit like. You ever actually had agave before?
Like the syrup or like the plant?
Like the plant.
Yeah.
You ever had like a little piece? I feel like this tastes like smoked agave a little bit.
I was thinking of eating aloe. I've not had agave.
Yeah, it tastes a little bit. It's strange because I'm going on about the terroir, but I guess because it's unaged.
You were so adamantly against.
Yeah, but are you tasting the ground?
No, but you're tasting the rusticness that is akin to the desert that the agave is from.
Oh, God.
Because also, this isn't like a blend of stuff. This is
True.
like with whiskeys and stuff, you can be like, oh, the terroir, but you're like, come on now. You're using like 4 different types of grains that are coming from 6 different places. You're not tasting terroir. But this, I feel like, given the way they cut it to proof, given just the general coloration of this,
40%, which means it's about this much water. If you're watching the video, it's about a little bit less than one. It was like this much, like a fifth of it is water. Maybe a little bit more than that's water.
that's practically hydrating. It does. I said it before and I'll say it again. It kind of tastes like if you took a flavorless liquid IV and then mixed it with like something a little grassy, something a little like limestoney, something a little a touch of sweet, a little touch, a little sprinkle of poblano, a little smoky poblano.
Fuck,
in there.
I'm getting the poblano.
You get the poblano?
That's crazy.
Are you feeling that poblano?
100%. It's like weird because it's like grassy green, not spicy, but it still has like that peppery. Here's a question: how much was this?
Like $35.
I'm gonna tell you something. For what I'm getting, which is again plata unaged, crisp, fresh, delicious.
Easy, breezy.
I
Beautiful.
think that if you are going to be purchasing a tequila, perhaps instead of getting, and by the way, I'm not saying that these things are bad. I don't think that, Jose Cuervo is not great. I don't think it's good. But like, I'm not here to judge you for getting something affordable. But I think that if you spend $7 to $8 more for this instead of a $7.50 of tequila,
You might just be having a better time.
I think that you'll have a better time.
I think-
Also, this is like a side tip. If you spend more money on liquor, you are going to feel like you spent a little bit more money, and you're not going to drink a 3/4 of a bottle of tequila, get upset with yourself, and then blame tequila because you drank too much.
Do you blame?
People do. When we worked at the liquor store, people did that. They come in, I don't like tequila. Every time I drink it, I get yeah. Oh yeah. Every time you drink tequila, you're with the girls.
But here's the thing: tequila is actually one of the lowest caloric carbohydrate index beverages that you can have.
Second
Vodka.
to vodka, right? Potato vodka.
Because potato vodka is also, they're all gluten free technically, but potato vodka is the most likely to have no interaction with gluten ever, as is tequila. But it's low calorie, and one of the staples of all of the gay bars that I've ever been to is a tequila soda, and so I thought what might be fun.
You're gonna put that in your fucking tea? You're sticking things where they don't belong? Unholy. Unholy.
We're getting pretty holy.
Sticking things places they don't belong?
That's kind of what this entire episode is about.
You're gonna put a little seltzer and a little tequila?
I already threw the splash of tequila in there. I'm just gonna.
You're gonna add water to your tea? It's cold, carbonated water to your tea. Oh my god! What the fuck is happening?
I'm gonna crush it. It's crushable. It's now become crushable.
I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna put it in a shot glass.
You got it?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
This is Schrodinger's
Whoa.
Canada Dry. Here we go.
That's too many possessive pronouns. Or
Here we go.
proper
I'm
nouns.
gonna taste.
It can't be
water for you.
Schrodinger's and Canada's.
Okay, I'm gonna pull a sip of seltzer for you.
A little pull of seltzy. So,
I'm kidding.
Now
So we're gonna talk about butt stuff, huh?
We've talked the tea to
We're
death.
talking butt stuff.
We're talking butt stuff.
Wait, how does the tea taste with the tequila?
Ooh, whoa.
Not bad.
Ooh. Okay. The cranberry, the licorice, the fennel, that's working for me. That's loosening me up.
So we're gonna have to do something for YouTube, okay? We're going to talk about butt stuff, but I think we should say butt stuff.
Butt stuff?
We have to say butt stuff.
We
Two.
What,
We should limit
as opposed to
anal. We should also limit the use of the F word.
whoa.
Fuck, not the other one. We're doing butt stuff. It doesn't mean that just because you do butt stuff
Doesn't mean you get to say it.
with a cat boy doesn't mean that you get to say it. I'm just saying. I'm talking about fuck. We really should limit that because we're going to be talking about some adult stuff too. I think that if you are just again, we try to do an all ages show here, but if you're under,
Since when?
we do.
It is a show about consumption.
No, it's not solely a show about consumption. It's about consumption and
Heart
heart.
and a little bit of soul.
Don't sodomy is bad for you. Okay, here's a question for you before we get started. Right? Have you participated in the butt stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Straight up. I was going to ask clarifying questions, but yeah.
There are children in the audience. Who needs a clarifying question? Not me. I will tell you a story as you get your thoughts together. This is one of my first times of participating. One, I just top. There's a reason for that. One, the reason is
You're boring?
I have a lot of anxiety. Somebody behind me grabbing my shoulder, Like, I don't know about somebody. Like, they're like behind me. They're like, I'm like, whoa, what's happening back there? I used to, when I lived with my sister, and me, her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, and my girlfriend all lived in a room about the size of this.
I just really want to clarify. This is not your biological sister. This is just a person that you have kind of grown up alongside and hold very dearly in your heart.
Yes. It was me, her ex-boyfriend, her boyfriend, my girlfriend, all living in this room. And so the only way we could be intimate, my girlfriend and I, we would go to the bathroom. And when I was young, I was obsessed. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was obsessed with putting that in the behinds of women.
Your peener?
Yeah. And
that seems more problematic than anything.
I agree with that. And what changed my mind for quite a while was
you got dookie dick.
I got dookie dick.
Happens to the best of them, but hey,
I got dookie dick.
If you're gonna be playing on a wet field, you gotta expect some grass stains.
After that, I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Okay. And I learned very quickly that when you go out to clubs, people appear. People come to the club prepared.
Yeah.
Bottoms will not eat all day. Bottoms will do all of the things needed for you. Yep. You just got to show up and be ready.
And that's why I think it's so important that we, as such alpha bro tops, ought to know what it's like to put in that amount of forethought.
Alpha,
omega, beta, gamma, delta, delta phi. So
I'm ready.
But you've only ever, when you say you've engaged in butt stuff, you've only ever put stuff in.
Yeah, like I've never really been a receiver. When I was like in my 20s, I was like, hit me with a finger, but I just never really enjoyed it. I was never really there. People, I know somebody in the audience is gonna be like, well, they didn't hit your prostate.
I was about to say, how far do they go?
Well, once I got older and I realized you got to do this, and this, and I'll tell you something, I'm clean already. I make sure I shower. I make sure I put all the stuff on, all that stuff. I don't know, man. I don't want to douche 5 times. I don't want to starve myself.
There is a major discourse around how like straight cis men don't know how to clean their booty holes. And I want to put that to bed. Not all men.
Okay. We're talking how we clean it.
We're talking about how we clean. And admittedly,
if you're not sticking a finger inside, or even
if you're not sticking a finger inside, then are you at least a third of the bar of soap? Look, I'm not big on washcloths, but like I'll swipe a credit card.
Damn, I just remembered,
and I'll scrub. I'll get nails in there, and sometimes that's a problem. Sometimes you get in a little too in depth, but you realize, like I don't have the proper equipment to deal with the sensitivity of the ingredients. You know, it's like when you try to cut a tomato with a serrated knife. You know what I mean?
I know exactly.
You know exactly what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
And,
damn.
And so, like, again, this is a call to action for all the people who would otherwise say like, we can't do that. Do it. Clean yourself. Don't be gross.
Everybody does.
What
are
you just gonna have? Are you just gonna have like caked on Cheeto dust in there the whole time? Ugh.
You know how many of my friends? You know how many of my friends who are trans mask, right?
Do they know
who only participate, right? And so I think this is something that's important to talk about. We're getting serious here for 30 seconds, right? Everybody has the butt stuff sex, anal sex. Everybody does it.
No, well, that's the thing. Not everyone does.
Well, that's true because there's statistics that show that gay men, cis men, and male in relationships with other cis men, it's something like 55% of them have anal sex and not the other 45%. There's something where like not everybody does it, but as we've learned in the last few years, butt stuff, aka both penetration and eating ass, taking a nom nom, taking a nosh.
It's really gotten popular in the last
It's become so fucking popular.
It's so commonplace these days. And I make it akin to like you hear the discourse around butt stuff these days. And it's really like Brussels sprouts, you know, like 20 years ago, everyone was like, ew, gross, stinky. I can't, I ate too much of it as a kid and now I can't stomach one bite. And now
15 years ago, dating a trans mask, only wanted to have front sex. A few years later, dated a trans mask, they only wanted to have back sex.
And so then like all of a sudden it started catching on. And then, you know, people started putting Brussels sprouts on their menu. They do like a balsamic glaze with it. Maybe a little truffle butter, some dusting of Parmesan. They really gussy it up a bit, make it really appetizing.
They really bussy it up a little bit.
And then now, you can't go to a restaurant without seeing it on an appetizer menu. And as soon as you sit down, you're like, well, I guess I better get some for the table.
I've made a lot of jokes about not eating ass. But I'm going to be frank and say it's not that I'm afraid of it. It's more that I just feel really strange when you meet somebody and it's like the first date and they're just like, hey. And I'm like, we don't even know each other. I don't even know what your diet is.
See, here's my opinion on eating ass. Thank you for asking. Is that it's not a main course. You know what I mean? Like you can... If I'm already down there, then like you're gonna like who's gonna put baby in a corner? You know, you think outside the bun a little bit.
You know, well, hold on. What if it's like you meet the person at let's say a comedy show, right? And you go back to your house and you start having a good time.
Yeah,
you know, right? I feel like we've gotten to the point where like eating the front stuff. I'm trying to limit it because of
the front butt.
You know, that's like become. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's pretty bar none.
Yeah,
that's just being a good host.
They spin around. They spread the cheeks. They don't even ask you. Also, are you using a dental dam? Do you know this person?
1980s? Who uses a fucking dental dam?
You're like dive. I'm gonna be honest though. Again, I can't say anything because, like I said earlier, I'm just surprised that I don't have a lifelong disease.
Turn around and spread cheeks, then like I can give an ocular pat down.
Okay, if you ever turn somebody down. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've totally. Yes.
I'm gonna be honest. I've never been propositioned in a way, and in any situation, it's always been like I'm gonna just do a broad brushstroke.
No. Have you eaten ass? And have you had your ass eaten?
No.
You are fucking. I'm gonna tell you, you're missing out.
I believe it. Hence the whole point of this episode, James. Hence this whole fucking thing.
Oh my God, I'm not even trying to be, but until you have like a. Oh, I'm about to tell you. Until you have 4 of you, and two are in the front and one is in the back. I'm just saying you are missing out. Oh my God.
I know I'm missing out, and I've been having FOMO for the past 5 years of my sexually active life.
Oh shit! With your 3 partners, I'm 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
Look,
I'm not judging you for
You're
it.
trying to roast, but I'm like...
I'm not trying to roast. I'm not trying to roast. I'm just saying that, like, you know, the first time it happened is actually crazy because I feel... I
was under the impression that if you just be yourself, you know, people will be sexually attracted to you. But it's more of like... Keep that... Just kind of a diet version. Keep that yourself light, TM. And then maybe people might like you, and then try to keep that as bottled up for as long as possible, lest they'll be scared away.
I've prepped a little.
You've prepped before?
A little bit. This is how.
And
It's
what
by
way?
the not quite eating. It's by taking. I mean, I take a long shower regardless.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? You know, I already take a long shower. I'm a long shower person, right? I take a long shower. So I take a long
As you
shower,
should.
and then I took a second long shower, and like I made sure like I was hydrated. Also, like I try to eat well, and then I made sure that I took a long shower, and then before we had a conversation because consent is key.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before, you know, because this is actually like 15 years ago. We weren't really. I feel like it wasn't as popular.
We weren't consenting 15 years ago.
No, it just wasn't as popular, I think. You know, so we had a conversation about it. We took a bunch of showers and we showered right before. But I'll be real. Have you ever had somebody, you ever had a partner that's like, I don't really care if you shower? Because that's a thing. And
not for. I've had people who have said, I don't care if you shower, and then front stuff has happened.
I can't believe, I'm going to be real. I'm too clean for that. I cannot. I cannot. To me, all I have to say to that is, but das vidanya.
But I mean, I'm also clipped, so like,
I mean,
there's less to clean off, I suppose. Wait, you're clipped too.
so am I. I just want to be
Hell
clean.
yeah. Hey,
It's like I was
you
circumcised.
can't grow it back.
Circumcised before I was, before I could even make a decision.
But I found that like I actually have kind of a good. Accidentally, I have a decent prep routine just because I feel bloated really easily, I suppose. And like so I get the Costco package. It's 2 things of psyllium husks, like the Metamucil, and so I learned about these years ago. I was in a weight loss challenge with the boys. And I was talking to a friend of mine who at the time was living in Las Vegas. They were a former MMA fighter, and so I was asking for advice on how to do a proper weight cut, and they suggested what you're going to want to do is take 5 of those fiber capsules first thing in the morning, and then do something to kind of get your metabolism going, get your heart rate up, either go on a run or, you know, do some sort of exercise or just yank one out. And then what you're going to want to do afterwards is have like a nice, like a dark roast black coffee, some like little bit of protein, either like a hard boiled egg or maybe like a little bit of tuna or something, but like a lean protein. Have your coffee and then do the bulletproof coffee, which I know you're
MCT oil. It's normally buffalo butter, but you can use
like grass fed. And so that would be like your first meal of the day. And then the MCT oil helps reduce hunger cravings. It does make your tummy hurt. It will kind of make your tummy hurt for a little bit, especially in the first couple days of doing a weight cut. But you want to make sure that you stay super hydrated throughout the day, and then you wouldn't really eat again until like 5-6 p.m. where you would have, you could eat as many leafy greens as you want, and then you would have like a modest serving size of another lean protein, either like chicken breast or again tuna. I love tuna, and at this point in time, I was eating it straight out the can like a cat. And so I would do like a couple like solid handfuls of baby spinach and some shredded tuna with like a little bit of mustard and some salt and pepper. And then you would take another 5 of those fiber supplements. And during this time, I had some of the cleanest poops I have ever had. I'm not talking about just the no wiper. I'm talking about ghost poops, where like I go, I poop, and then I hear the bloop, bloop, and then you look back, and they've already made their way halfway down the U-lock of the toilet. I learned that there's a difference between, like, there's no wiper, which is like that's pitching a no-hitter, and then there's a perfect game. You know, that's no base hits.
What the fuck?
No walks.
First of all, this sounds
runs. It was 9 innings, just strikes.
First of all, this sounds like an eating disorder.
No, it's only an eating disorder if you do it for a prolonged amount of time. If you set your parameters and you say, I'm only going to do this for the rest of my life, then, okay, I only did it for like a week and a half because it was crunch time and I needed a win. But I'll draw the line again. The difference between an eating disorder and a weight cut is, one is this is my life now, and the other is I have a set amount of time in which I'm going to adopt this eating disorder. And so it's no longer a disorder, it's an order. You know, it's an order to things. But I will say I have had friends and even some family who are like, I'm trying to get shredded, and so I'm only going to eat spinach, rice, and chicken for like months. And they get shredded, but like
You
that's...
can't maintain that.
But
it's very difficult to maintain a thing where all you eat is unseasoned. I mean, you can season it a little bit, but like you can't put any oil or any fat. Like it just seems
you can do oils and fat. It's basically you're trying to trigger your body into going into ketosis, right?
Yes, where you have less than 1 gram of carbohydrates per day. But the problem with ketosis is if you maintain ketosis for too long, it can affect your mood significantly. It can contribute to mood swings, right? It also, I mean, honestly, ketosis,
no, it doesn't.
Ketosis is actually bad for you in a long period of time. The keto diet was originally created for people with cancer. Really? I don't know if you know that.
I did not.
The keto diet.
I thought it was created for Neanderthals.
I know, right? I know. Right? The caveman diet. No, the caveman diet is different. The caveman diet is anything that you can eat that a caveman would, which would be meat just cooked and charred, and like, you know, so you could eat vegetables, but like only vegetables a caveman would eat.
So none of the things that are in contemporary supermarkets.
No. Don't even get me fucking started. That the number one people who were keto people, all of those people were a lot of them stopped being keto because they had really bad health outcomes.
I believe, again, I want to clarify. I'm doing this not because I'm trying to do a major lifestyle shift. It's because I'm going to a friend's wedding.
And you want to get your ass eaten.
And I'm trying to get my ass eaten. I'm going with a set goal. There's a deadline and there's a finish line. After April 27th, I'm going back to eating bread bowls with pasta in them.
I just remembered something I want to share with you.
But until then, until after April 27th, I'm going to be a fucking madman.
You're going to be a madman?
Well,
are you going to douche?
I got a douche. Like I purchased a douche. I have acquired a douche.
To get your ass eaten?
Just in case.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. Like I'm weird. You already know me. I'm like, oh, eat after you, blah blah blah. Like, you know, but at the same time though, I feel like I'm clean. And I will say, I'm not gonna say that I receive analingus frequently, but probably pretty frequently.
Is that the other Irish airline?
Totally. If you're clean, also, all that other stuff for like the meat and stuff, every day I have a smoothie that has 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, which is 8 grams of fiber. Do you know most people go to Taco Bell, they're like, oh, my stomach hurts, because you don't eat fiber in your fucking life.
You need fiber.
And you've had beans one day, and so your stomach's hurt because you had a tortilla with a little bit of fiber in it and some beans.
Beans have dietary fiber in them sometimes.
Yeah, but that's the number one thing you need. You need a minimum, and it's crazy. Only 9 grams of fiber a day. That's what they say you should have. Only 9.
Wow.
People are having on average 3 to 4 grams of fiber a day. No wonder their poops are hard and weird. You're talking about clean poops. I'm gonna be honest.
Trying to be clean as a.
All my poops are clean.
All your poops are clean.
Every single one of my poops is clean.
Oh, bullshit.
I'm not joking.
Oh,
I have
sticky shit. No,
I have good clean poops.
What are you, a fucking rabbit over here just shitting out pellets?
It's not that.
all
It's
the time.
It's just that I try to make sure I hydrate. I have a lot of fiber, even when I eat tortillas, which I love. I love tortillas. I love tortillas a lot. Do you know what I do? I get the Mission fiber tortillas because when you get to so the way it is with calories, right, is that you want a certain amount of calories for fiber. But since I'm not a scientist, I don't want to tell you the numbers because then you might at home.
It's different for everybody's body.
Everybody's different, But there's
and everybody poops.
I just eat a lot of fiber thoroughly throughout my day, intentionally. My movements are good. My gastrointestinal health is fucking A+.
His diet is whack. His carb intake, whack.
So I think the
His
real
beans, whack. Me, I'm tight as fuck.
This is the real test. The real test is if I took somebody home, could I take a shower and then let them stick their tongue in my ass?
In it?
I mean, effectively. And the answer is yes.
Well, that's okay.
The answer is yes, because I maintain such a clean downstairs that if I took somebody home, I could shower.
And you'd be good to go.
Also, I totally lied. I forgot that I had a brief butt stuff period when back in I forgot what it was. My ex and I purchased this plug training kit.
Oh, like with the different grade levels, gauge levels, I guess.
After the first one, I just was not, I don't know what it was. I just wasn't really interested. And also, we shared it, which is effectively a what do you call it? A stool transfer? No, we did clean it. We cleaned it.
A bonding ritual?
A bonding experience. They would have shared butt plugs with me, Chandler.
I don't know if I could take what you're dishing.
I'll be honest, they're soft. They're like super soft.
Silicone?
Yeah. Because they're training. So, and the smallest one looks like, but it's so soft. Oh my God. Can I tell you my ex?
I only want one that's got like a cute little gem on it.
I don't know if you didn't meet this ex, but you know about them. They're really into that. And I'm actually okay with it. But like the size of the plugs and with the ease of insertion and removal, it's fun in the moment. But when I think back, I'm like always like, man. It's like when you see somebody with a bad dragon, that's like the horse one.
Whoa.
And it's like it vanishes and it's like, where did that go?
Where did it go?
Where did it go?
How does it go?
I talk too long. That's it. You have 7 minutes.
I have 7 minutes. Okay.
Go.
Things to consider. This was just a cool article that I saw about this from the GoFreddy.com, where it was Freddy's guide to
getting fingered.
But yeah.
Is it Freddy? Oh my God, you're fucking kidding me.
And they said, remember, dads.
Okay, dads.
DADS, which I had always thought was day after drinking shits. But in this situation, in this context, it stands for dietary fiber, avoid triggering foods, drink water, supplements. And so
how's that dads?
Dietary
fiber.
Avoid trigger foods, drink water, supplements.
Oh, dads.
Are
they hot dads?
Of course. Well, if they're not, then it's more of like an emotional thing. Also, when you're researching stuff, remember there's a difference between prep and PREP prep, which one is a series of it's a process of cleaning your rectum and digestive tract. The other is a medication that reduces the risk of spreading HIV, also called pre-exposure prophylaxis. And it's important to consider if you are having, unprotected penetrative sex.
Unless you live in a red state where they're trying to make it illegal.
Which, that's fucking awful. Why would they be doing that? Anyway, we know why they're doing it.
Why they're doing it.
But it's
because they don't get their ass eaten.
It's fucking evil. So I guess, God, like there was so much I wanted to cover, but I think we actually touched on most of it. But yeah,
But not the prostate.
we're getting there. We're getting there, and we're getting real deep.
I mean, how about this? If you want to hear us talk more about butt stuff, either taking it, giving it, sticking things up there, licking it,
or even just manifesting it, you know? Some of us are novices who are just trying to experience all of this life's supple fruits, and I'm trying to just have an all-encompassing experience, whether topping, bottoming, licking, being licked, loving, being loved, or just, watching.
Okay, I will admit something.
Huh.
I've bottomed, but not that way. You don't have to take it to bottom. You just gotta submit a little bit. I switched. Switching counts as bottoming. Ask the audience. Doesn't switching count as bottoming?
I suppose, but in this sense, it was like bottom, quote unquote, dash ing. Because we're talking about butt. Like your butt is your bottom. Like but yeah,
See, I don't care.
Bottom and sub are not the same thing.
I don't care. I don't bottom. You know why I don't bottom? Because I don't have to. You know why I don't have to bottom? Because people like to bottom for me, and I don't mind, and I'm loving, and I'm caring, and I'm sweet, and I can also wrap my whole hand around your throat if you like, because I have big hands.
Was that a threat? Because if that was a threat, I just came.
Damn. I guess that's it. We had way too much fun talking about sticking things up there, sticking tongues up there, keeping it clean.
Positioning is going to be your best friend. Take it slow. Use lube. I actually recently invested in mint flavored lube.
Oh my! Why would you do that? Mint flavored lube.
I'm chasing the dragon. I'm fucking.
I definitely
I'm
had
on a tear.
I definitely had a partner put a holes in their mouth first.
I'm trying to be ran through by the end of this year. Okay.
If you want to run Chandler through, it's super easy. All you have to do is what? Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Go to the description box below. Click the links. Do the things. Follow him everywhere. Bubble Bear Comedy. Me
or Chandler does jokes on Instagram.
Oh yeah, Chandler does jokes.
Yeah.
Me at Just Call Me James on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. I just gotta say that I feel like the next time that we're in a small room together talking about butt stuff with the camera on, somebody's getting their ass eaten.
Is that a threat or is that a promise?
I guess drinking is not required,
but reciprocating is recommended.
Oh, stick it in there. I can't.